everybody, it's Joni Young here. Welcome back to my channel for another acrylic painting tutorial. Today I'm going to show you a really easy way to paint a winter landscape using only 3 colors. We have Mars Black, Titanium White, and Aqua Green. The canvas I'm using is an 11 by 14 double primed and stretched, and it's been primed with some clear gesso. You can use some white gesso as well if you like. And then I have 3 brushes to start. If I add any, or if I decide to use any other brushes or colors, I'll be sure to mention them during this video and in the description list below. We have a number 2 rigger, a number 8 filbert brush, and a number 20 flat brush. I'm just going to start by spraying some water on the canvas, and then I'll just evenly blend it over. Make sure there's no drips. Just adding a little bit of water to your canvas before you start can help you blend your acrylics. It'll help keep your acrylics from drying out too quickly as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with a little bit of white and a little bit of black. I'll just mix them up here. And I'm going to start by just adding gentle little flicks like this, just using the end of my brush. I'm about a third of the way down the canvas, and then I'm going to start going down lower when I pull and flick, and then bringing it up a little higher, and then I'm just going to go up and down here, making these lines a little taller and starting down here, so closer to us. So already we have some perspective near and farther away. So I'm going to continue to just gently add a little bit more. Now just a little bit more water to my canvas here. That water really helps you get more of a feathered look. And what this creates is just the beginning of a faded out, foggy looking forest in the background. Okay, then I'm going to go take a little bit more of that gray, and I'm just going to start cutting through. Adding some lines here. I'm going to take a little bit more. I'm just going to gently wiggle out just with the end of my brush, light little swirls and wiggles like this, bringing it one way and then the other. To the left, then back to the right. I take a little bit more white now. Mix that up. And I'm going to come in and add, well, I'm going to just take a little bit more white because I want it to be a little bit lighter. I want to create different tones of gray in my landscape. This will give us some midtones, lighter shadow areas. Okay, now I'm going to rinse this brush out, and I'm going to come in with my filbert brush. I'm going to get it just a little bit wet, and I'm going to take some black and just mix that up to make a dark gray color. I'm going to start with the trees in the background, and I'm just going to gently turn my brush like this so I get a nice even line pull up some tree trunks, mix that paint up, and then we're just going to start to push and tap. So narrower branches on the top, and then just make them a little slightly wider on the bottom. So you can do that by applying less pressure on the top. So barely touching, a light little tap, and then gradually using a little bit more pressure will automatically make you use the full width of the brush. Okay, so I'm going to start pulling up. Now you can use your liner brush for this or your filbert brush. I'm going to add a little bit more black to make it darker. Pull in a few more tree trunks. I'm going to pick up just a little bit more water and black. I'm going to tap this way to get some narrow ones, and then turn to make them a little bit wider. Okay, so the top of the tree trunk, tap this way, and then turn it this way. A little bit more water and more paint. Okay, so see all the different tones we're getting by using a little bit more paint, a little bit more black or less black, even less white will give us more of a warmer tone, almost like a taupe. So because these trees are going to be covered with snow, you don't have to worry too much about making your branches look perfect because we're going to be going over top of them. And we'll say we've got one here off the edge that we can't see the other side of. We can just see a little bit here, the left side of it. And then I'm going to just push gently and flick up on the side using the side of my brush. Wiggle out a little bit down here. Just at the base of the trees. I'm going to rinse my brush out. And just sweep off a little bit of that paint. Add just a little bit of white in here. Okay, we're going to leave that for now, and we're going to concentrate on adding our river. Now I'm going to take black, and we're going to start up here, really thin lines like this, and we're going to pull back, and then right about here we're going to start to make the river a little bit wider and more visible. Then we're going to pull in here, bring it back this way. Making a little wiggly on the edges because we're going to have some snow there, maybe some snow-covered rocks. But see the perspective we're creating by keeping those lines really faint and thin there, and then we'll make it the widest down here. I'm going to add a few little spaces in here, maybe some rocks, a break in between. So little lines and then little arches. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of white. Mix that up to make it the light gray. Take a little bit more because my black is wet. So if I just take some white, gently go over that. And just add a few little white lines here. It's all about how much movement you want your water. It's nice to make it look a little bit reflective and have a few little frosty looking highlights. And I'm going to take some white with a little bit of turquoise. And I'm going to go inside my chunks of ice here. Maybe they could be rocks with this color on it. When the ice gets layered like this, it can turn a turquoisey color. And I'll take a little bit more on the end of my brush. And I'm going to catch the side here, the sides that would be visible. So not on this side, but down under here. And just add a little bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit to the water. Clean brush. I'm going to go back into straight black. No water on my brush. I'm going to go underneath with a clean layer of just straight black. Okay, then I'm going to take straight white and I'm going to go above these mounds of snow and ice. Make it a little bit brighter. We're going to come really close to the water here and slightly go over. Just catch the edge of the black. Okay, now I'm going to start adding some snow to the trees. I'm going to start with a light gray. Okay, so we'll just start back here and choose a few of these trees. Take a little bit more white. And you just want to add a little bit of this to the branches. You don't want to completely cover up the first base. Otherwise that'll take away all your shadows and take away any contrast. So we need light shadows for contrast and to make it look like it is something, so something 3D, three-dimensional. And then just a little sweep. I'm going to take a little bit more white for those guys back there. See, it shows up a lot better. So it's already a shade of light gray, so to make it stand out, we need just straight white. And we'll get this last one here. I'm going to be a little bit more generous with this one. And bring it in front. So to bring it in front, you're going to slightly apply this coat of snow or white partially over this one to make it in front of that one. Okay, so I'm going to dry this all off, and then we're going to come in and start adding a little bit of fog and mist through here, and I'm going to use a little bit of turquoise and white to do that. So some of the white I applied is pretty thick and it's not going to dry for a little while, so I'll just be careful when I go over that. However, if I happen to pick up a little bit of it, I'll make it work. And I'm going to take with my filbert brush, my number 8 filbert, a little bit of white and a little bit of turquoise. And we're going to start back here, just going and weaving kind of around in little circles. You don't have to, you can apply this over the whole forest back there, or you can just add it in little bits, in little sections like this. Add a little bit more white, make it a few shades lighter. Pick up a little bit more of the green, and I'm going to bring some mist and fog, mist or fog, whatever you want it to be. Picked up a little bit of black there that I thought was dry, but that's fine. We'll make it work. Just balance it out by going over top with a little bit of white and green again. And then if you kind of do these little circles while you're going up, it can give you a little bit more of a misty look. Okay, so now I'm going to come in and add a little bit more turquoise, just straight turquoise, over the darkest part of the trees. I'm going to start to add a little bit more color down in the water here. Loading my brush on the very end with a little bit of that turquoise or bright aqua green. Take just a little bit more black and go underneath the ice, build up along the edge here. Okay, now we're going to come in and add a tree that leans a little bit like this. I'm going to use the same brush, some black, and we're just going to put it right here. So let's just add a little line and then gently pull and drag and have it go right off the canvas. Make it a little bit thicker. I'm going to rinse my brush out. Clean brush. Just going to add a bit of a shadow here just by pulling down a little bit of that black, have that shadow fall on the snowbank. And it's going to go in the opposite direction. So this one goes up, this one's going to go down. So you'll have like a shape of a V. I'm going to add some white right in here. Tap some white. It's going to pick up a little bit of that black and turn kind of gray. Just for a little bit of a start of some snow on that tree trunk. Now I'm going to take my liner brush, get it wet, and pull into my black. And we'll add a few little branches, twist and roll. Light pressure. And then just less and less pressure for all these little ones. A little bit shaky while I'm doing this to help create that character of an old looking tree. I'll make some thicker ones in here. Try and make these look a little bit more close together, and we'll add some snow on there. Pick up a little bit more water and paint again. The water really helps thin that paint out, and it helps you be able to glide your brush and paint a little better over the canvas. With a little bit more of a shadow down here. And take some white and come along the outside. Now, the reason why I'm adding white onto a white canvas is that they're two different shades of white. The canvas is more of a warm white, and the titanium white I'm using is a cool white. So using different temperatures of your paints in your paintings can make a big impact. I'm gonna add a little bit extra misty looking back here. A bit of thicker fog over that. I'm gonna just soften this shadow a little bit more. Okay, so I want to start adding some snow to the tree. I'm going to take a generous amount of white on here, and I'm going to start adding it a little wiggly like down this side to make it look kind of lumpy. Okay, and then I'm going to add some on this bigger branch. You can use your little liner brush for this, and I'll show you how in just a moment. But if you want to use just the end of your filbert brush to make it really narrow, gently push and wiggle, and then just get a little bit of paint on the end. And then just lightly pull it over those branches. I'm going to switch over to the liner brush now. Okay, you're going to take some white. If you don't have a steady hand, it helps to just place your pinky down. Now I'm using quite a bit of white because I really want to create a 3D feel to this tree. Literally, like when it dries, some parts of it are going to be a little bumpy. So see how much I'm taking? This is just personal preference. You don't have to use this much if you don't want. I'm going to add just a little bit inside here, lightly go over. You can lightly pull and sweep off a few little icicles too if you want. Add a little bit more snow just over here. Have it really tucked into some deep snow here. Add just a few more highlights along the edge here. Not as thick as what I've applied on the tree. Maybe a little bit of turquoise in there as well. I'm going to go back over to my black. A little drip there. I need that bit of water anyways. And I'll add the last little bit of branches here. And then I'll take a little bit of white. And I'm going to use my filbert brush to add the finishing touches to this painting. And just tint my white with a little bit of turquoise. Add a hint of color to break up the whites here. And just sneak in a little bit of aqua green in here. And as I add the finishing touches by applying a little bit more of my aqua green turquoise back there, finish this painting. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for this one. And you can see how dramatic you can create a painting by using just one color with black and white. You can do this same painting today, changing up the green for blue, purple, any other shade of green, any color you want. Have fun experimenting with your own. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you all soon in another video. Bye.